Have you ever wanted to know the story of a character but didn't want to watch the show to figure it out? Well, welcome to Backstory. Today we are going to be talking about the Avatar Spirit, which is part of every Avatar. That's right, I'm fucking insane and I had the idea to go through a bunch of characters in one video. Anyway, let's go. Our story starts with Wan. Wan was an ordinary man who stole the gift of firebending from the fire lion turtle. The fire lion turtle then banished Wan. 2 years after Wan was banished, he wanted to find the other lion turtle cities. Wan then stumbled across the two all-powerful spirits. Wan ordered the fight that the two spirits were having to stop. Then, the white one, Rava, pretty much told Wan to shut the fuck up because he's just a silly man. The dark spirit Vatu begged Wan for help, saying Rava had been torturing it. Wan then set Vatu free. God damn it, Wan, why did you do that? Wan, then learning Vatu was definitely bad, promised Rava he would help. Rava then gave Wan the equivalent of, "Nice job, asshole," and left. Wan then made it to the air lion turtle. Vatu showed up and turned everyone in the town to dark spirits. After Vatu left, Wan noticed that Rava was significantly weaker than before. Wan, keeping his promise, offered to help Rava once again by obtaining airbending. The lion turtle, knowing no other human had used two elements at the same time, gifted Wan the ability to use airbending. But Rava held the power until Wan could master it. Eventually, Rava was ready to give Wan the power of air, so it merged their energies together, creating what we know today as the first Avatar. Well, almost. After this, Rava and Wan set out to find the last two lion turtles and gain the gifts of water and earthbending, so they could fight Vatu before harmonic convergence. In Wan's home village, Vatu was being an asshole. And to try to create peace, Rava and Wan combined their energy to become the first Avatar! No, still not yet. Wan, not being able to handle the energy, passes out. Rava significantly weakens because of this. Wan wakes up and finds Rava behind a rock and put the spirit in a teapot to take to the southern spirit portal. There, Vatu challenged Rava and Wan stepped up to the fight. Wan, combined with Rava, managed to pin Vatu down before harmonic convergence. Once harmonic convergence began, Rava and Wan became permanently bonded, creating the Avatar Spirit and the first ever Avatar. There it is, folks. Avatar created. The Avatar cycle decides the order of the Avatar's main element. The order is the order which Wan learned the elements: fire, then air, then water, then earth, and it repeats forever. The Avatar also has the ability to remember things from past lives. This can be obtained at chance or by meditation. The Avatar state is the Avatar's most powerful ability. It puts the Avatar in a state of channeling great power and the memories of all previous Avatars. This state can be controlled, but can also be triggered as a defense mechanism when the Avatar is in great danger. The next known Avatar after Wan was a fire Avatar with no name. This Avatar was known for lava bending 4 volcanoes at the same time. What a man. Next after this Avatar was an Avatar known as Yang Chen, with an unknown birth date and a death year of 345 BG. Yang Chen wanted very badly to make a difference in the world by maintaining peace and balance. Yang Chen did such a good job, there wasn't war or threats of anything for a generation after her death. After Yang Chen, from 345 BG to 312 BG, lived Kuruk. Kuruk was a winged kind of guy, and usually went across the world and spirit world to find opponents worth fighting and bending. Kuruk then fell in love with a woman named Umi. On the night of their wedding, Umi was pulled away into the spirit world by Ko the Face Stealer, because Ko thought Kuruk was an asshole. And to be fair, Kuruk was an asshole. Kuruk then went every year to find Ko and kill him, but then couldn't, because it would have killed his wife if he had killed him. The next Avatar's name was Kyoshi. You might know her from her island. She lived from 312 BG to 82 BG. That's right, Kyoshi lived 230 fucking years. That's older than Aang, and Aang was frozen for fucking 100 years of his time. That's nuts. Kyoshi had a big stature and had the goal of bringing justice that would create peace. Kyoshi had no problem killing to obtain justice or peace. This made Kyoshi very effective, creating a 233-year-long era of peace. Kyoshi's creation of the Dai Li would lead to the fall of her home country, which would make it one of her biggest regrets. Kyoshi's fighting style was also taken over by the Kyoshi warriors due to its effectiveness. The next avatar we know about is Avatar Roku. He lived from 82 BG to 12 BG. Roku as a young lad was best friends with the Prince Sozin. Roku was a good man and was very merciful. Although seeing the prince become an imperialistic asshole, he had to kill his best friend, which led to Roku also passing and not being able to stop the war. And that would be when Roku was needed most. And you know, when we needed him most, he vanished. That leads us to Aang, 12 BG to 153 AG. Aang was placed in front of thousands of toys and chose the Avatar relics from them, confirming that he was the Avatar. He was taken to the Southern Air Temple where he wasn't told he was the Avatar. Here he was an air nomad and traveled across the world. When he was 6, they took him and the other air nomads to the Eastern Air Temple to pick out a bison. Aang offered Appa an apple and the bond was sealed. As a child, Aang was fucking amazing at airbending. He earned his airbending tattoos because he was an airbending master at the age of 12. He was the youngest airbending master ever until his granddaughter Jinora, who became one at the age of 11, giving her the record. During Aang's travels, he met his best friend Bumi, who he eventually named his son after. Aang was told he was the Avatar at the age of 12 instead of the age of 16 like they normally would. He felt burdened by this, strengthening his connection with Monk Gyatso, because he was the only one who understood Aang. Because of this, they planned to send Aang to the Eastern Air Kingdom because Gyatso was too soft on him. Aang heard about this and ran away with Appa. Appa and Aang got stuck in a storm that sent them into freezing water and to drown. Aang shifted into the Avatar state and encased him and Appa in ice while the war continued.
Aang is frozen for 100 goddamn years.
Aang was found by 2 siblings from the Water Tribe, a waterbender named Katara and a warrior named Sokka. Aang becomes close friends with the two and they form Team Avatar. Aang has a lot of coverage, so I'm going to try to talk about the things that were most important to him as the Avatar, and not necessarily all Aang's backstory. Same goes for Korra. When in Sunland Village, Aang went into the spirit world, and with the help of Fang, Roku's animal, Aang was led to Roku. Roku warned Aang about the Sozin comet that could let the Fire Nation win the war. Roku warned Aang he needed to master the elements quick, in a year before the comet arrived, or there may never be peace in the world again. So that's exactly what Aang does. Aang then went to the Northern Water Tribe to master waterbending. The Master Pakku agreed to teach Aang but refused to teach Katara, so Aang got all pissed. But it's okay, because Katara was learning healing instead. But it's double okay because eventually Pakku stopped being an asshole and let both of them train under him. Admiral Zhao attacked the Northern Water Tribe and killed the physical embodiment of the Moon Spirit, which caused Aang to merge with the Ocean Spirit and wipe out the Fire Nation's ships. Yeah, shit really gets real at the end of Season 1. It's great. Then, Team Avatar travels to the Earth Kingdom where Bumi told Aang to find the Earthbender that listens to the Earth before attacking. Team Avatar heard about a tournament that put the world's best Earthbenders against each other. Aang saw this current champion, a young blind girl, and remembered her from a vision he had. The young girl's name was Toph Beifong. The Beifongs, being a rich family, did not want to lose their daughter, so Toph ran away to join Team Avatar. At one point, Team Avatar learned of an eclipse that would make the Firebenders useless, before the meteor came. They figured that this would be the perfect time to attack. The group then went to Ba Sing Se to tell the Earth King about their plan. Ba Sing Se was actually corrupt though and ran by the Dai Li, so Aang had to get around them to tell the Earth King. After Aang went to the Eastern Earth Temple to meet Guru Pathik and learn how to control the Avatar state, he returned back to Ba Sing Se to realize the Dai Li was now run by Azula. That's the Fire Lord's daughter and Zuko's sister. She's really fucking scary. Aang tried to obtain the Avatar state, but Azula used her crazy lightning powers on Aang, which almost killed Aang and separated the Avatar spirit from him. Katara caught Aang and used water from the spirit oasis to bring him back to health and reconnect him with the Avatar spirit. Aang reconnected with the Avatar spirit by speaking to the former Avatars in the spirit world while he was unconscious. Aang woke up in the Fire Nation ship that was taken over by Team Avatar. They were headed to the Fire Nation to attack during the eclipse. It's okay though, cause everything's not perfect, cause Azula said fuck you guys, and Team Avatar had to retreat. After that, Zuko asked Team Avatar if he could join. He ended up teaching Aang the last element, fire. Aang, now a master of all 4 elements, fought Ozai on the day of the meteor. Aang did not want to kill Ozai, so with the help of a lion turtle, Aang stripped Ozai of all his bending powers, thus ending the 100 Years' War. Now just because the war was over doesn't mean Aang is done bringing peace to the land. Fuck no! This was the beginning of the Harmony and Restoration movement. Zuko became the new Fire Lord and asked Aang to kill him if he started to become like Ozai. Sounds familiar. Roku. Aang ordered the Fire Nation to go back to living in the Fire Nation. Zuko slowly withdrew his support for the movement and took over Yu Dao. Aang realized he had to keep his promise, so he spoke to Avatar Roku, who told him to listen to his friend's wish. Aang tried to talk to Zuko before resorting to the Avatar state. After a battle with Zuko, Zuko told Aang he wanted to talk, and explained Earthbenders and Firebenders in Yu Dao had both been working on metalworking, and Zuko didn't want to separate them. Aang wanted to restore harmony to specifically 4 nations. Zuko disagreed. They both agreed to have a meeting with the Earth King. He wasn't having any of Zuko's shit, and decided to send people to attack him instead. Aang, not wanting a war, warned the Yu Dao people to leave. Aang was then conflicted because he was all for the Harmony Restoration movement, but if there were 4 nations, one would always be more powerful. So Katara suggesting having them not separate nations, like Zuko. Aang, being proud of his culture, thought this would kill his culture. He also realized if he kept with the Harmony Restoration movement, he would have to kill Zuko, which was also against his culture. The Earth King and Zuko started to battle. Katara pulled Aang aside and told him if the 4 nations had to be separate, that meant they would have to break up and be separate too. Not very long after, Zuko was falling to what looked like his death, when Aang caught him. The Earth King realized where his fault was, and so did Aang. Zuko realized he wasn't like his father, and he was trying to do the right thing, but also asked Aang to go back on his promise, because Zuko's next adventure was going to be searching for his mother. Aang then started his mission to unify the people he had now, and not try to change them to how they were before. Aang managed to maintain peace throughout his life. He transformed what used to be the Fire Nation into United Republic of Nations. The capital was Republic City. In Republic City, Aang founded the Air Temple Islands, and created a 5th air temple to house surviving air animals. Aang ended up marrying Katara and having 3 kids: Bumi, a non-bender, Kaya, a waterbender, and Tenzin, an airbender. Aang, realizing the importance of Tenzin being the last airbender, or the next last airbender, I guess. That's a fucking weird sentence. He took Tenzin around the world and trained him in the ways of air nomads, leaving his other children to feel neglected. Being frozen for 100 years made Aang's body kind of shit. So, once he felt like he was going to die, he asked the White Lotus to watch over the next avatar, a little girl named Korra. Korra was born in the Southern Water Tribe. Her parents were Tonraq and Senna. At the age of 4, the White Lotus found Korra, and she already knew waterbending, earthbending, and firebending. Holy shit, Korra, you are amazing. The White Lotus took Korra with her animal companion Naga to the Southern Water Tribe to keep her away from the rest of the world while she trained. At the age of 17, she became a master in all 3 elements she knew. Now that Korra had mastered 3 elements, she only had air left to master. The White Lotus had Tenzin set up to teach Korra, but he couldn't make it, so Korra ran away and showed up at the Air Temple Island. Korra got into some trouble with the police force, whose new leader was Lin Beifong. Korra got out of trouble because Tenzin agreed to take Korra in. Korra joined the pro-bending team, the Fire Ferrets, and bended with 2 brothers, Mako and Bolin. One day, Bolin got kidnapped by a bad dude named Amon. Korra saw Amon take someone else's bending, and that scared the shit out of Korra. The next time Amon would show up was during one of the Fire Ferrets' pro-bending games. Amon and his followers destroyed the building. Finding out that Hiroshi Sato was one of Amon's followers, Korra took the brothers and Asami Sato to live with her, creating the new Team Avatar. They were all arrested by the councilman Tarlok, who was secretly a bloodbender. Amon found Korra in her cell and took away her bending. The team escaped and went to attack Amon. Mako, using his bending, was putting up a fight against Amon, but Korra, finally reaching her ability to use her airbending, used it to take down Amon. Later, Aang connected with Korra and gave her back her bending. After this, Korra used her energy bending to grant people their bending back. Korra then went to the South Pole where there was a civil war started shortly after she came. Eventually, she ended up speaking with Wan about how the Avatar came to be. Korra then decided she needed one of Tenzin's daughters, Jinora, to come to the spirit world with her and stop Vaatu from escaping. In the spirit world, Jinora was captured by Unalaq, who blackmailed Korra to open the northern spirit portal. Korra escaped the spirit world to get help. She sent Bumi, Tenzin, and Kaya to find Jinora. She also sent Mako and Bolin to hold back Unalaq, so Korra could close the portals, so Unalaq couldn't become the Dark Avatar. Unalaq became the Dark Avatar and ripped Rava out of Korra, making it so the Avatar state does not exist. Knowing the dark cannot exist without the light, Korra looks for Rava, but is captured until Jinora gives Korra Rava to rise up and defeat the Dark Avatar. The spirit portals from that day on were to be left open, so people and spirits could live in harmony. Keeping the spirit portals open left a lot of problems in Republic City, like people losing their houses, so Korra was banished. During the same time, new airbenders appeared in the Earth Kingdom. Korra and the rest of Team Avatar set off to find these new benders and give them guidance. People refused the guidance. Team Avatar ended up with Suying Beifong, another one of Toph's daughters. Suyin's daughter, Opal, had become an airbender and agreed to train with Korra. In return, Suyin taught Korra metal bending. Korra was the first Avatar to do so. Korra was kidnapped by a dude named Zahir. She got free, but he would have gotten away with it if it weren't for those meddling kids. Korra ended up following Zahir to the spirit world where he explained he was part of the Red Lotus, an organization that was dedicated to getting rid of the separation of nations in very radical ways. Zahir and his men killed the Earth Queen and were headed to kill the last of the airbenders unless Korra was their puppet. So Korra went to the Air Temple and surrendered. Zahir double-crossed them and ended up leaving with a passed-out Korra. Korra woke up chained to a wall. Korra was injected with poison that would force her to use the Avatar state because once she was in the Avatar state, they could just kill her and end the Avatar cycle. It worked, and she did use the Avatar state, but she got free with it and set out to attack Zahir. She managed to get in a spot where the Beifong sisters encased him in metal. Korra, while have winning the battle, was still poisoned until Suyin Beifong bended the poison out of her. But Korra was still very weak and unable to walk. Sometime after that, Korra ran into Katara, and Katara told her she was still poisoned and that she could heal her. Korra spent years recovering and she was doing a pretty good job except that she couldn't use the Avatar state. About 6 months later, Korra learned from Toph that she had to bend all the mercury that was in her out of her. Then eventually, she got the poison out of her. Korra reconnected with Rava and saved spirits. She wanted to let Kavira know shit wouldn't go down. But Kavira attacked Korra and probably would have won if Korra didn't regain the Avatar spirit to fuck Kavira up. Kavira fought Korra for a while until Korra won and restored peace to the land again. Korra went back to Republic City to start a relationship with Asumi. That's it. Holy fuck. This was so long and I'm done. It's a wrap. We're done. Video over. I hope you like it. If you liked it, like and subscribe. And leave a comment on what character you want to see next. It can be a movie character, it can be a TV character, it could be a cartoon character, it can be a video game character. I don't give a shit. It was fucking backstory. We out!